Okay, the next athlete now I've been joined with while I'm currently out in here in Villamore is Daniel Clorley, Luton AC athlete. So thanks so much for joining us today, Dan. For those who perhaps don't know Dan, he's perhaps, well, what I see is a really encouraging up-and-coming 1500 metre runner that we have from the country. Last season was highly successful for Dan. It culminated in, he was 4th place at the European Juniors, where we had three Brits in that race, and he was 2nd Brit home behind Simon Horsfield, but unfortunately 4th place. But still a magnificent performance. Got his time down to 3:43, and then there picked up a runners-up medal at the 3A's under-20 championships and the English schools under-20 championships. So like I say, huge prospects, things are looking good. But perhaps what we want to start off with things is obviously last summer came and went, and obviously we touched on there how successful it was for Dan. But since September he's currently enrolled at Birmingham University. So just perhaps use that as a starting point then, Dan. So what was the reasons for you? Obviously, like I said, things have gone highly successful at home while you've been back in Luton. Was it an easy decision to go to Birmingham? What was the reasons behind, and just your thoughts on making that decision in the first place?
Well, when I decided on the university, I wanted to go somewhere with a bit of like a running history, like good athletes there at the minute and good coaches and that. But I needed somewhere with a good course as well, and Birmingham was probably the best choice for the course I wanted to do. And I knew a lot of guys there, sort of like James Wilkinson and Nick Goulab, a couple of years older. So I knew I was going to be able to run with, like, regardless. So I think that's pretty much why I chose to go there.
Okay, good. And then moving on from things, obviously we're in April now, so you've done roughly, what's that, about 6-7 months in Birmingham. Do you want to just talk about the transition that you've made? Obviously, like I say, I know you're currently out here in Portugal with your group from Luton, so you're still maintaining links with there. So is that something, have you been coached by still the same coach? How's it sort of worked for you in Birmingham?
I've still had the same coach at the moment, Tony Simmons, but I've jumped in on a lot of Bubble Daro sessions, like once, maybe twice a week,
okay,
which are sort of like the strength sessions, because like everyone's got the same sort of thing in the winter. And I've still been doing like maybe one track session or a hill session a week, just to keep the speed up, because I did plan to do a few indoor races, but got ill, so I missed a bunch of indoors, but I ran the southern indoors. So I think the track sessions kept my speed up all through the winter, as well as like building on the strength and that.
So it's fair to say, like I say, it's obviously been a bit of a juggling act in terms of just keeping in touch with some of your coach from back home's core principle. How have you found fitting in with the other lads and who, like I say, maybe coached by Bud Valdero and the group thing?
I think I settled into university really well, like student life and all that, and I get on really well with like all the lads up there. So there's a big group of us. There's always someone to run with. I'm never running on my own. There's always someone on like long runs, short runs, and then 2 sessions a week usually. And then there's a lad from home I train with. So I've always been like, on the track on a Thursday with him, so I've never been alone, so it's good.
Good. And I think perhaps just touched on some of the successes of your winter season. Obviously, like I say, you do seem to be still pushing on. You're 12th at the European trial in November, and then post-Christmas you actually won the Bucks B race. So just your thoughts on how the winter's been going?
I struggled a little bit before Christmas, like, to get fit quick enough. Like, I missed September, I didn't train much in September. And I tried to do a lot of miles early on, I think, and I think it took a bit out of me, so I think I was sort of worn out like a lot of the time when I was running. But post-Christmas I didn't quite as many miles, and I think it all sort of came together later on, before I got missed February, missed the National and that, but like Southern Cross and...
so yeah, you did, obviously you won the Southern Cross as well, so was that expected, did you, and what's your thoughts on that?
I'd hoped the medal, but I thought the likes of Johnny Hay and Ronnie Spark had been running quite well, so I didn't know whether I'd win, but I was quite pleased with the race. Okay, but so overall you thought it's been a solid winter, I suppose, and you're happy with... training-wise it's gone very well. Got a really good, really solid base to come from this winter, and racing was okay, the race was quite good.
Good. Before we touch upon perhaps your aspirations for this summer season, I think it's like I say we touched upon at the beginning there, just what a highly successful 2009 was for you. I think we were just saying off camera particularly from me looking back, it was just a really impressive to see the depth that we have and the depth and the quality last year. It was led by Niall Brooks, who ran 3:41. Unfortunately he wasn't selected for the European Juniors because, like I say, you proved yourself at the trial. But then there was Simon Horsfield 3:41, yourself and Ross Murray running 3:43, and I said for a few, I know we've always sent guys to these championships, and no disrespect, it's sort of typical times have been around about 3:45, 3:46. What were your thoughts on last season? Because I think Horsfield was the one who set a good early marker of the 3:41, and yours was a bit late, it came at Watford sort of thing. And how was it just knowing that you guys, that you, in any other year you perhaps would have been number one arguably, but for that season you were sort of 2, 3, and just your thoughts on how that all was panned out?
Most of the season I think I was ranked 4th like, so I ran my PB, I ran very late, like middle of August. So I think around the trials and that, I was worried that having not run the times, even though I came second in the trials, wouldn't have got picked anyway. I mean, the strength last year was very good. I mean, Niall, I think, could maybe felt a bit hard done by not getting picked in the 15, but just seeing we had 3 in the top 6.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was just like very strong last year. First 4 anyway.
Okay.
But stepping up this year, we'll have in the under 23s, and we'll all be moving up. I don't know about Niall actually. I think for me, Ross and Simon will be moving up to the under 23s, and he needs a strong race week, I think.
Okay, good. So that moves on nicely then. So what are sort of the targets for this year? I know, like you say, you're sort of in that blurry area. It's an under 23 season, but there's no major championships internationally wise. So what are your targets going to be? Obviously the senior things of Commonwealth Games and the 3A's trials, European trials. What typically is Dan Clorley going to be shooting for this summer?
I think the main champs this year are the under 23s and the season 3A's. I like to run well there, and but I think Europeans come up probably out of reach at the minute. But I've got a few TVs I'd like to revise, so I think after the championships I'll maybe not run as many 15s, but an 8 and 3Ks maybe. Okay,
and just sort of slowly chipping away at revising some of your time. Again, looking at perhaps the long-term sort of picture, like I say, I touched upon last summer, there was that clutch of you guys who were really running great times for your age, which is highly encouraging, especially, we're always looking for razor light in terms of British endurance running. I think last summer was a great example of the potential there. Looking ahead, obviously, all being well, you guys will still stay fit and healthy and progress forward, but when you perhaps look ahead of you in terms of just the depth that we've also seemed to have in front of you, because for last year for the under 23s there was Ricky Stevenson, David Forrester, Johnny Taylor, James Brewer. Obviously these guys are all going to be edging your spots in the near future. What's your thoughts on, like I say, perhaps, I know you're still looking at the under 23s, but bridging into the seniors and making an impact where we've clearly got a lot of guys who are hopefully in the next few years will be going sub 340 and well below that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be very competitive this season. It could be 10 guys on 340 and all under 24s of it. So I think the major championship finals maybe, and like for senior 3A's and that would be an achievement this season. And just like getting like in the mix really, just getting competitive with these guys, and as you get stronger, they compete even more.
Okay, just perhaps one last thing to touch on. How are you in terms of a race? Because like I say, you touched upon at the start last summer going into obviously the 3A's, you were technically 4th on paper, and I think you ran obviously a great tactical race on the day, but is that perhaps one thing that you do have, is the belief of, yes, obviously there is a lot of good guys, but perhaps on your day you're equal match for people who maybe are just a touch quicker than you? Is that the way you're sort of trying to look at things?
Yeah, I mean, there's guys who run quicker, but it's not like a massive difference, and no one's going to run like very, very quick in championship races, so you're always in with a shot as long as you're in the mix last 400 or 500 metres, so I wouldn't rule myself out, I don't think.
Okay, good. Well, thanks so much for your time today, Dan. It's obviously been a great interview, and all the best for the summer season. Just perhaps to finish off with, what are the sort of races that you're perhaps going to be targeting early on, and where we're perhaps going to see Dan Clorley open off his 2010 season?
I think I'm going to hit the Bucks at the start of May. See a bit of a blower earlier in the season.
What distance are you?
I'm going to run over 50 in there. Okay. And then Sport City probably.
Yep, so the BMC towards the end.
Yeah, not sure what event yet, but I'll be at Sport City.
Okay, good. Well, hopefully I'll catch up with you again later on in the summer season, Dan, where we can see how things are going. But like I say, thanks for your time and all the best for the summer season.
No worries.